that I would not be someone that was generally accepted in the general political realm as being a very openly queer identifying Arab Muslim woman. And I've actually received a lot of positivity that I didn't expect. For example, in a couple of weeks, there's a Pride event that the city council has every year, and I'm being honored at it. And I didn't expect that, right? I know I was like, I have a very strange political stance, I guess, more generally. I'm very like, all immigrants deserve status. No one should be in detention. We should shut down all detention centers, all these things. And actually, it's interesting because we can see that things are changing. That people are like, yeah, we agree. And it's like people like me and like you know, children of immigrants are actually the people in city council. They're like, yeah, that's messed up, that people are not getting treated well, that people are not receiving adequate care and respect and being accepted in our communities. And even like the Muslim piece, like that's a big thing for me that I'm like, y'all want me to come up there when I'm like very not ashamed to be Muslim? Because I'm not. And so it's nice.
I should have been warned earlier. I didn't know I was interviewing a celebrity.
Oh, come on. I know celebrity. I just, you know, I'm from a migrant family background, and my family are military, and I grew up in Texas, and I saw all these things happening on a regular basis, and I just thought to myself, how is this the right thing? How is this the way that it's supposed to be? And this isn't the America that I think a lot of people envision when they come here. And then when they come here and they're dealing with things like the thing that happened in Portland recently, like, what? How is that even happening, that people are being attacked for being themselves, and that people have to die in the hands of white supremacists and white supremacy? And so growing up in Texas, I was very aware of white supremacy because it was around me like at all times, you know. I was 14 when 9/11 happened, and I remember in high school, white men I went to school with being like, I'm so excited to go kill those sand N-words. And I'm like, whoa, where am I at right now that this is appropriate? Because I know for myself, my mother who married an Arab Muslim man, that's not what she thought she was signing up for. She wasn't signing up to support people like that or this sort of behavior. And so for me, I felt like there had to be another way, and that's kind of why I started doing this work in the first place, is there had to be another way.
That's what you get from a Muslim girl growing up in Texas. So are you a social worker? How did you get into this work, and what work do you actually do?
So I got into this work, kind of what I said, experiencing what it looks like to be a person of color and a queer person and someone from an immigrant family, like all these different pieces, and really wanting for there to be a safety and people that actually understand, like, I guess, cultural competency. We talk about cultural competency a lot, but like real cultural competency means that you're seeing people for their whole selves and you're responding to that and you're treating people with dignity and respect. And that's what got me into social work, is that I wanted people to feel like their whole selves and getting the help they need at the same time, instead of taking bits and pieces of them and saying, actually, we're going to take this piece and that piece and that piece and serve you as long as you kind of fit to this mold of what it looks like to be a person in this world based on our realities and who we are. And so that got me into social work in the first place. And so for me, that was really important. And then I started the Queer Detainee Empowerment Project as a response to the fact that I felt like it didn't make any sense for us to live in a world providing immigration services or whatever that looks like without having that. So now kick forward, this has been years later, and that's sort of where it came from and where I'm at. And I've had great experiences. Like some of the first people that QDEP ever served just won asylum. And that's a big deal. It's not just people in detention, it's people that came here and years later now just got asylum. And they're people that I consider to be my brother, you know, people that I'm very close with now. And so for me, getting a little emotional, it's very important to me to be able to do this work and show that we're actually helping people in a real way where they're able to be themselves fully and what that looks like.
So do you just work with the LGBT immigrants, and what services do you actually provide?
So you have to be LGBTQ, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, or HIV positive. So you could actually be heterosexual and HIV positive and we're still going to serve you. And that's really important for us because a lot of people that are HIV positive are not getting the services that they need because they're afraid to be out about being HIV positive. And typical, like, I guess we call them cisgendered heterosexual services. because there's so much stigma around HIV still. And in terms of the services we provide, if you're in detention right now, then we do visitation. We visit you as much as we can. We write letters to you on a regular basis. We hook you up with an attorney if you're inside. If you reach out to us and you say, actually, I'm dealing with medical neglect, I'm not getting the health care that I need, then we work to make sure you get it, or we start a campaign around it and we build for that. If you say you're dealing with violence, sexual violence, physical violence, bullying from guards, from your peers, then we work to try to stop that or get you out of that situation. And then once you get out, if the attorney is able to get you parole or whatever, if you get you a bond, then we try to raise your bond. We try to raise the $2,000, $5,000, sometimes $20,000 to get you out of detention. And it's not always easy. I want to make that very clear. $20,000 is a lot of money no matter who you are. I think that $2,000 is a lot of money no matter who you are. It's a lot of money. I mean, I'm a citizen in this country, and I've been here my whole life. And the idea of having $2,000 is a lot to put on someone's bond. And so once we get you out, then we get you into housing, then we get you health care, then we get you into an employment training program, or we get you a job. And we get you English classes if you need them. And then a lot of times people have degrees from their home country, so we try to get those translated over so they can get into school or to employment based on that. We do more from there. Go ahead.
In terms of what response do you get from the public in terms of funding, and also the state and the federal?
So we don't get any funding from the federal government. Or state government. City-wise, there's city funding, and we're working towards getting that for the first time. We've never gotten it. But we get a lot of funding from foundations that support our work and believe in our work, and we're really lucky for that. They believe that immigrants are people too, and they need help and support. And because there's a gap, we exist. I mean, literally, we came to be because there was a gap in services for people like our community, like you, like people that we work, people that could have been me one generation back. I mean, my family came here, my father, and he was like, it's not working out for me to be in Tunisia, I guess, right now. So for you, the reality is that if it were one generation back, it would have been different because I was a woman. And then I recognize that if I was one generation back, I'd be seeking asylum in this country. So I try to always position myself in that mentality that, like, I could be seeking asylum, what would I need? And so that kind of builds into it. So we get a lot of funding from a different array of sources, but some of our biggest sources actually are faith-based services that want to fund LGBT work. And I think that's important to bring up because a lot of people think that the churches, the faith systems, they don't believe in LGBTQI work, and they actually support us more than anyone. And then some of our larger foundations are community organizing projects to support our work, and women's foundations. Women's foundations love our work, and we love them for loving our work.
For how long have you been there? And also just you face the camera and just tell people how they can reach you.
So you can connect up with us in a few different ways, but one of the big ones is going to our website, qdep.org. So Queer Detainee Empowerment Project, qdep.org, or find us on Facebook, Queer Detainee Empowerment Project, or Twitter, which is queer, Queer, DEP, DEP, at QueerDep. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the wonderful job you're doing.
Thank you for giving me this time.
It's my pleasure.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.